Welcome to another edition of Spotlight. I'm your host, Fitzroy Pendergast. And this afternoon we have a very, very interesting person. We have the High Commissioner of Nigeria here with us. He's Ambassador Peter Oyedele. And certainly we want to share with him and we want to talk about their 50th anniversary coming up, as well as many other things that I'm sure he will be interested in talking to us about. When we come back, we're going to be having a fun-filled discussion with the High Commissioner of Nigeria, Peter Oyedele. Mr. Oyedele, thank you for joining us on Spotlight. First of all, the Jamaicans would really want to know a little bit about you. Tell us a little bit about your early life in Nigeria and what was it like for you?
Thank you very much, Mr. Pendergast. I have a great pleasure meeting you this morning, and it's a pleasure that I have an opportunity to talk to the Jamaican people on the occasion of the 50th independence anniversary of Nigeria. So, I was born in Minna, a town in the north of Nigeria, and now it's the capital of Niger State. I was born on the 9th of June, 1945, and I went to primary school there, and I did my teacher's training education in the north as well before I moved to the south. Finally, my university education I had at the University of Lagos, and then also University of Ife, and also part of it at the University of Dakar in Senegal. So I had my early life in the north of Nigeria, and then finally came to the south, where I finished my university education.
And brothers and sisters and stuff like that?
Oh yes, we were all born there. Our parents were living in the north at the time. So we were all born in the north, and we all grew up together. And then when we started, getting to high school or teachers training level, everybody started going here and there. So my brothers and sisters are in the north of Nigeria mainly, and some are in the south of Nigeria, in Lagos, Ibadan, and Obumasho, where I actually come from.
Tell us about, were you ever involved in politics in Nigeria?
No, I've never been a member of a political party. But when I was a student, I was very active in student politics. I was the Secretary General of the University of Lagos Students' Union. So I was very active in politics, and I had a lot of pressure, meetings, and people coming to advise us to do this and that. And my experience, did not encourage me to go into real politics when I left the university. It was not a very pleasant one because I felt perhaps I was not cut out for that type of activity. So, but that's all I could say I have about politics. But right now, I'm holding a political appointment because I retired from the Nigerian Foreign Service in 2006. Then I was invited by our late president to come out again, to come to Jamaica as High Commissioner. So I'm holding this position, as a member of the PDP, that is People's Democratic Party of Nigeria. So, but I'm not very active in politics.
How long have you been? You did say, in part you answered that question. You've been High Commissioner since 2006 here in Jamaica. What has it been like for you?
No, in fact, I came to Jamaica in 2008. So I've been here 2 years and a few months. I retired from the service in the Nigerian the Foreign Service in 2006. Okay. But 2008, I was sent here to Kingston, Jamaica, and I've been Ambassador, High Commissioner since then. So I've had a nice time in Jamaica. I've been to all the parishes, and I've seen some of the most beautiful beaches around, and it's been quite enjoyable, and the people are very friendly. And of course, we have, one thing which we don't have at home, which I enjoy a lot, is that we have a continuous power supply. Electricity is there almost 24 hours a day, and traffic is not that bad. The traffic flows generally, and then, of course, the people are very friendly. So my wife and I are enjoying Jamaica a lot, and when you're in a country where people love you and you love them, and you even can associate with them as people who are your own, because you have a lot of similarities with Jamaica, and I know most of the Jamaicans, came to this place from West Africa, and I've identified a number of places where I've met some which I believe definitely originated from Nigeria. And I've seen some of the cultural shows, and I could see some similarities in what we have at home with those ones that I see here since I got to Jamaica. Oh yes, well, I went to Hanover something about a year ago, and there was this dance group, A2 group there, they performed. And I was amazed that I was hearing some Nigerian words in some of the lyrics. And even though centuries, we've been separated for centuries, we still have some of these little bits that are still existing. And I was also at the Cultural Center, the theater here in Jamaica, in Kingston, a couple of months ago, and I heard a Nigerian song in one of from one of the troops. I was so excited that I got to know the leaders of the group. This is the Stella Maris dance ensemble. They sang a song in Yoruba, and I could understand every word of it. So I was so excited. I met them, and I invited them to come and play during a festival which Nigerians organized here. And they performed very well. And I'm also inviting them for the 1st of October celebration for them to perform on the 28th of this month at the headquarters of the Girl Guides of Jamaica, opposite the Nigerian High Commissioner 5 Waterloo Road. So they're still coming to perform. So, I mean, these are, I was quite excited and thrilled to see all these things here in Jamaica.
When you speak, I was just listening to you, and then it came to me that you're not really away from home because there's so much similarities here. Whilst you're away in terms of from Nigeria, there is a lot of similarity, cultural similarities between Jamaica and Nigeria that makes you feel more of, a part of this environment than a stranger.
You're quite right. First, the language factor. Because I've served in some countries that are not English speaking. And, when you serve in such a country and you don't speak the language, there's no way you can interact very well with the people of that country. When would you need an interpreter to be explaining to you what you want to say? And then, in most cases, interpretation it may not be quite accurate. But when you can express yourself and you have people understand you, and then that makes your work easier and smoother. You see, so, and because of the cultural and traditional and ancestral links between us and Jamaica, I feel, perfectly at home here. I was even joking with some of my Jamaican friends that if I had come here when I was a young man, perhaps I would have decided to stay put in Jamaica and be a Jamaican. Because, everything is I just enjoy everything here, believe me.
Tell us now, you said you served in some other countries. Tell us a little bit about that.
Oh, yes. Well, I had most of my postings in the French-speaking countries. Well, of course, I speak French because I went to the University of Dakar, where I learned French. Mm-hmm. So, I've been to Senegal, I've been to Ivory Coast, which the French call Côte d'Ivoire, and also I've been to, I've served in Niger Republic. So these are, and of course Guinea-Conakry, 8 years as Nigerian ambassador to that country.
And what was some of the experience that you had there, and you compare that with what you have in Jamaica?
Yes, well, because of the language factor, I initially found it difficult to really get to know the people because we weren't understanding each other as such. They were speaking French and I would say English and somebody would interpret. So, the communication, communication is very, very important when you want to, when you live in a place because you need to understand the people and get to know them very well. And so the difficulty I had was, communicating with them. Although they are blacks and they're of my own race, but, well, we were living in different countries and we grew up under different colonial administrations because those ones in French-speaking countries, were administered by the French initially. And so French was the official language. And then we, of the British stock, who grew under the British system, of course, English is a system. That's the similarity between Nigeria and Jamaica, because we're members of the Commonwealth. So that Commonwealth connection also, you know, brings us together and makes us to understand each other better.
Nigeria and Jamaica has had a tremendous close tie over the years. They've done a lot of things together. How do you think this can be enhanced, one, and why do you think this is so?
Thank you very much. You made a very, very important point. The Nigeria opened her mission here, diplomatic mission, that is the High Commissioner of Nigeria, in 1973. And Jamaica also did the same, about the same year, then in Lagos, before the capital of Nigeria moved to Abuja. So since 1973, we have been here. And our doors have remained open. The High Commissioner has not been shut even for one day. Even during the problem we had with the Commonwealth, during the human rights crisis in Nigeria when the Commonwealth imposed some sanctions on Nigeria, we still maintained a High Commission. The High Commission and Jamaica to maintain a High Commission. So this long, and we were the only black African mission in this country for over 20 or 30 years, until about 5 years ago when South Africa came in. And then Senegal came a year or two after South Africa. So for about 30 years, we've been here as a mission. And Jamaica too had the only mission in Africa in Nigeria. And I think recently I learned they have opened one in Pretoria also, in South Africa. So you can see that we've known each other for a long time. And of course, Jamaican leaders have visited Nigeria. Michael Manley, I think 1977. And of course, Right Honorable P.J. Patterson also has been to Nigeria a couple of times. In fact, I met him, he told me he visited Nigeria first 1948. Perhaps we know that the University of West Indies and the University of Ibadan were opened the same year in 1948. You see, and that of Ghana, the University of Ghana, and I think maybe in Cape Coast or somewhere. So the three universities were opened the same year, and the connection has been there since then. So the Nigerian leaders too have been here. In fact, my information is that Chief Obasanjo, of course, is no longer president. He has left office after completing his term. We'll be visiting Jamaica in the next few days as well. Then before then, we had General Abubakar, Absalami Abubakar, who was head of state in 1978-79, and he too has been here. Then we have Vice Augusto Ekomo, who was a vice admiral. He was the vice president to General Babangida at the time. So they've been here. So we've had ministers and high government officials visiting, and also Jamaican leaders to have been visiting Nigeria. So we have very good relations. Then the second part of your question: what can we do to, improve, to further advance this relationship? Yes, of course. Well, we know what has been inhibiting the relations between us, particularly in the economic field, is the distance between the two countries. It's not the distance as much, but the fact that you can't come direct from Lagos to Jamaica to Kingston, or go from Kingston direct to Lagos, has been a terrible handicap in this respect. Because now, to get to Jamaica, you have to pass through London. That's about 6 hours, and you spend 1 or 2 days in London before you connect the flight to Kingston. And Gatwick Airport to Manly Airport, I think it's about 9 or 10 hours. So, it's not easy, it's so long. Whereas we have discovered that direct flights from Nigeria from here will take only 8 hours. You see, it's just 8 hours to go from Kingston to Lagos and vice versa. So if this route is developed, then we'll be able to interact more with it, and then we can develop trade, and even tourist activities will improve. Because Nigeria is a country of 150 million people. So we have a lot of people who, would like to go and come and see the Caribbean, see the kith and kin in the Caribbean, and enjoy the tourist facilities that you have here. Because we have beautiful beaches there, beautiful sand beaches. And of course, we have a sizable number of Nigerian rich people who will be able to come and afford it, and 1 or 2 weeks here, go and come on. So I mean, in this area we can, and also cultural change. I was just telling you about this. Yes, cultural change too. That will be facilitated, because when you want to take young men out to through London or to US, the people are afraid that some of these young ones will abscond once they get there. So they're not giving them visas. Visas are very difficult to get for the nationals of both countries from Europe and America. So, but if you have direct link, you don't have to go through that ordeal. So, I mean, these are areas where we can exploit. We have been talking to the Jamaicans about the need to establish to have a bilateral air service agreement, which will allow aircraft to fly direct to both countries. So, I think work is going on this, and I hope that in the next couple of months, perhaps, we shall have some good news to share about that.
One of the things that I think about is that Jamaica has excellent tradition in reggae music. Nigeria has an excellent tradition in football and that sort of thing, and quality players that have played. There's so much synergies and so much that both countries could benefit from if all that you said is worked on and effectively transmitted and developed. Are you anxious that something can be done as quickly as possible so that the whole idea of these things being developed can become a reality?
Oh yes. Well, reggae is originated from Jamaica, and it's international now. It's known everywhere, and of course, it's very popular in Nigeria as well. And since I've been here in the last 2 years, a number of Jamaican reggae bands have visited Nigeria because of the cost to come here for visas. And so many Nigerians enjoy reggae music. And of course, we also have the fella Ransom Kuti. He was here before he died, and his music also was popular here at a time. Then we have the Nigerian film industry. A lot of Jamaicans, when they see me, they talk about the Nollywood films and so on. And in fact, in Montego Bay, there's a station there that shows, the Nigerian films most of the time. Yes, almost 24 hours. Nigerian films. So Nigerian movies are very well known here in Jamaica, and all these are areas that we can, sort of exploit to advance our relations. And as I told you, we're working hard to pursue both countries to sign a bilateral air service agreement, which will be easy, so that communication will be easier between the two countries.
What do you want, as a High Commissioner, Jamaicans mostly to know about Nigeria?
Oh, I want them to know a lot about Nigeria because I feel that, that's where they originated initially. And most Nigerians say they even just want to, most Jamaicans tell me they just want to step on Africa, step on the soil of Africa. That's why they want to know where their ancestors came from. You see? And of course, going to Nigeria will give them the opportunity. And of course, I know a lot of Jamaicans have gone to Nigeria, to Ghana, and Senegal, because most Jamaicans originated from there. Particularly from Nigeria, because of the population. Because the population of Nigeria is almost twice that of the entire West African sub-region. So we can then imagine that most of the Jamaicans, were brought here from Nigeria through Ghana and other places. So, I know when I first arrived, particularly among the Jamaicans who are not that well educated, when you talk of Africa, they think Africa is just one country. You see, they don't know Africa is a continent. You see, we want to go to Africa, as if it's just one country that is called Africa. It's a continent. But among the well-educated Jamaicans, well, this does not exist. They know very well because they've met Nigerians in Britain, in Canada, in the U.S. where they schooled, where and of course many Jamaicans are married to Nigerians today. And we also have many Jamaicans also, Nigerians who are married to Jamaicans. We have many of them who have even settled here. They've been here for 20, 30, over 30 years. Nigerians who are married to Jamaicans, and to them, Jamaica has become a home. And the same thing happens to Jamaican women who are married to Nigerians. They are settled there, they enjoy themselves, although they come home from time to time. In fact, some are staying with me now. There was a wedding last Sunday, which I attended. The bride was from Jamaica, the bridegroom from Nigeria, and the parents of the groom I had to know very well. So they're even staying with me in my residence. So we have this intermarriage going on. You know, people, you know, they meet in UK or any part of Europe or America, and they fall in love, and of course they become husband and wife, and they visit both countries. Some are resident here permanently, some are resident in Nigeria. So this has been going on for years now.
And of course you have your 50th anniversary coming up. Certainly 50 is a long time. That's half a century. Certainly you would have achieved a whole lot. Tell the Jamaican public, I mean, what are some of the advances that has taken place in Nigeria, some of the things that the country has achieved since its 50th anniversary, and what do you look forward to in the future?
Well, thank you very much. On the 1st of October this year, Nigeria will be celebrating our 50th independence anniversary. And the High Commission has lined up a number of events to celebrate this occasion. Well, 50 years, you know, the life of a man is a long time. But when you talk of a country, it's still a very, very short time. So, but in the last 50 years, well, Nigeria has recorded a number of achievements which are noteworthy. First, let me talk about the physical development. Well, most of the towns in Nigeria today are not what they used to be before independence. A lot of new structures have come up, new roads, highways all over the country. And of course, in terms of education, well, now we have, at independence, we had only 2 universities. The University of Ibadan and the University of Nsukka. The University of Nigeria and Nsukka. Those are the 2 universities we had. But since independence, by now, I mean, today as I'm talking to you, we have over 100 universities in Nigeria. Wow. About 100 universities. Many of them are government-owned, and of course the majority are privately owned universities. So school population has exploded, I should say. In a country of 150 million people, you can know the size, you know, of, I mean, how big the schools, how many and numerous primary, secondary technical institutions are all over, including universities all over the country. So we have made tremendous progress in that aspect. And also, of course, the foreign policy of Nigeria is Africa. It says, you know, it's centered around Africa because we are the most populous and we're Africans, and we share the same racial affinity with Africans, particularly those south of the Sahara. So we've done a lot to assist our African brothers. During the liberation war in Southern Africa, Nigeria played such an important role in the liberation of Southern Africa that the countries in that region had to invite Nigeria to be a member of the frontline states, even though we were thousands of miles away from the theater of war itself. So we're an active member. We supported the liberation with arms, with men, and of course with finance. So today we're glad that all the countries of all African countries are independent, are free from colonial rule, apartheid rule. So Nigeria was very active in that fight. And also in the area of peacekeeping, we have, since 1960, even a few months after independence, Nigeria started peacekeeping work in the Congo Republic. The Congo, in fact, General Obasanjo, who became a military head of state and later became a civilian head of state, was one of the soldiers who served in Congo in 1960. So since 1960, we've been involved in peacekeeping activities. And right now, we're still very much there. We are in Haiti. We have a Nigerian policeman serving in Haiti. We have a Nigerian military serving in Darfur. We have them in Liberia. We have them in Sierra Leone. We have them, I mean, virtually all United Nations peacekeeping operations. We have Nigerians serving there. So, and then of course we have bilateral relations with many African countries. We try to help them, you know, help them with finances, and also we will give them technical assistance. We extend our technical assistance to the Caribbean countries, including Jamaica. Well, although that of Jamaica stopped in 2008, but we're still very much we have Nigerian volunteers serving in Belize up till now, and also in Dominica. So we have, these are men and women who go out as doctors and nurses and engineers and lecturers, who serve in all these countries. In Jamaica today, we have a number of Nigerian professors. They came here around 1988, 89 when the program started, and today they have become professors in UE. And we have some of them, some Nigerian professors also working in UTEC. So we have Nigerian nurses in many hospitals here in Jamaica, and all this came during as a result of the technical cooperation agreement between Nigeria and Jamaica and the countries of the Caribbean where we are, and of course we're all over Africa rendering technical assistance. So these are some of the things that have evolved in the last 50 years. And of course, the population also has grown beyond what it was in 1960. We now record about 150 million. I think our independence were about 60 or 70 million. So, but now we have grown up to 150 million, and you know that, when you have more people, the government has a lot of things to do to take care of them and to provide infrastructure and other things for them. So,
tell us a little bit about the challenges that you face.
Challenges, of course. I must tell you that we have challenges, and in fact, we even fought a civil war at a stage, but all that is behind us. Now, because Nigeria, we have about 300 different ethnic groups in Nigeria. And to bring all these people together in one country, people with different cultures, languages, and traditions, to rule them into one country, it's not an easy task. So these are the challenges. So we have 36 states all over the country, and then we have the capital of Abuja itself, which is the federal territory. So all these states are created in order to allow people in various sections to have some kind of self-rule, to have their own, to elect their own local government set up. So I mean, these are, and of course we have the center, we have the president, who, is the president of the whole country.
Yeah. I was just going to ask you about it.
Yes. Well, yes. Okay, I'll come back to that soon. So we have the president, and then there are certain functions that states perform on their own, like education, like health, and they raise revenue. But the federal government is in charge of the foreign policy of the country. They're also in charge of the military defense. The defense of the country is vested in the federal government, and also security, everything pertaining to security, that is, within the province of the federal government. But other services for communities and so on, the state governments participate in that. Yeah, I wanted to ask about the president. Excuse me.
President, Goodluck Jonathan.
Yeah.
I've been following his reign as close as I possibly can. What are your thoughts on him as the new president of Nigeria?
Yes, he's a very interesting and dynamic young man. Well, he came into power, just by an act of God, because the president, he was vice president initially, and the president he was with unfortunately died. So the constitution provides that when the president died, then automatically the vice president should take over. So he took over, and he's been doing extremely well. He's loved in the country, and people admire him. He's very well educated, and he's he has good ideas for the country. And people have been even itching that he should contest the next presidential election, which will take place in January this year, because he's just out to serve out the term of the former president. It was not a new mandate. So, and since the term of that government of the late president would have expired in May, so he will stand in until a fresh election is held. So a lot of bodies and groups have been urging him to contest the next presidential election.
Do you think he will?
Well, most likely he will, but politicians, they will not be able to give a direct answer. They want to sound out the people to see exactly what the mood of the nation is before they can come out to say, okay, yes, I'll contest. But now I think he hasn't come out openly. But he has supporters who are urging him to.
And finally, just in terms of this is a big country with lots of natural resources. Nigeria has oil and quite a number of resources. Poverty is still a problem in Nigeria, as in any country, in Jamaica and in any other country. How do you see that being addressed? What is the progress being made on that front, in your opinion? Yes.
Well, we're well endowed, we have a lot of oil, as you know. We're about the 6th or 7th largest oil producer in the world, I think, 6 or 7. Now, of course, with a population of 150 million people, you have responsibilities. You have to take care of those people. You have to provide for their needs and make sure that everybody is comfortable. But you must still, there's no way you can avoid some people. Poverty is something which is even found in very, very rich countries. You see, even the most developed countries, poverty is still a problem. Now, what government has been doing is that they've been trying to set up a number of poverty alleviation committees. I mean, committees that will be in charge of poverty alleviation. So they try to give some money to some small business people to increase, to be able to buy stuff for sale and all the rest, and then they pay back with little or no interest. And then they supply motorcycles to some people, to use in ferrying people across short distances. And of course, in the farming, we have a very, very big farmlands where people can, produce foodstuffs and other things they can farm. So government will provide fertilizer for them and also encourage them to go into some kind of units or groups. You see, so that they'll be able to produce enough for themselves to eat and also to sell, for them to sell also. So these are some of the measures poverty alleviation measures the government is taking to, to sort of help the poor. I think government is making a lot of progress in this respect. So, but there's no way you can eradicate poverty in a society.
Thank you very much,
Thank you,
Ambassador.
Thank you very much.
It was really a very, very good pleasure of mine to do this interview. And once again, we really enjoy the discourse and certainly the interaction between the Jamaican diaspora and the Nigerian diaspora, and the connection that brings us together as a people.
Yes.
We want to thank you, viewers, for watching. And as I said, our special guest today was the High Commissioner of Nigeria, Ambassador Peter Adi
Oyedele.
Yes. And we had a great time discussing all different things in terms of Nigeria and the Jamaican connection. Thank you for joining us. Join us next time, where we'll have another very interesting spotlight feature. I'm your host, Fitzroy Prendergast.